Hello, my name is Michael O'Keefe, aka The Movie Wizard. If you enjoy this interview and want to hear more top-notch film industry conversations, please press the thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell to stay in the know.
Okay, hello, Amanda Kramer. I love the double bill at Asia featuring your movie, Pretty and Please Baby Please. What was the experience like for you?
Of watching it at Fantasia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Amazing audience. Like, so happy to be here, and obviously so honored to be accepted into a genre community, because I always wonder if, I'll get thrown out for not being scary or spooky enough. But incredible festival and just an amazing lineup this year of films. So I had a blast. I felt just so funky and fun being here.
Yeah, it was funny. I was actually sitting right in front of you, and so the program was beside me, and your lead actress, Sophie, was right in front of me.
Well, lucky you.
I know. I felt spoiled. It was real comfortable. So I'm going to tell you this, and I don't just say these things. Pity was my favorite new movie that played the festival this year, and because throughout the movie, or really very steadily, I felt like I was sort of bellowing out on a psychedelic adventure, and I feel like a lot of movies try to give you that experience, but maybe fall short. So I'd love for you to sort of start to tell me how you create your hypnotic effect.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that film really does have a hypnotic quality. I think if you watch any one actor do any sustained kind of incredibly engaging performance, especially as the lights are changing and the visual quality of the screen is also shifting, you'll start to feel totally sucked into the material. I think Sophie has a quite hypnotic quality too, because she's so direct, and she's looking right into the camera, and it's a very lulling and sort of alluring interaction that she has. She cuts through the lens, which we're not really used to seeing in films, obviously. So just like having that relationship with the audience and looking through the lens and drawing you in, it's quite sickening in a cool way, and it is hypnotic and mesmerizing, because you're watching these musical numbers and they're kind of tripping out and getting out of control, and then the actual quality of the film is degrading in front of you, and it all leads into the same kind of effect, which is just a mania, a claustrophobia, a vertigo kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really excited for you. I haven't done that in a long time.
Well, I'm so happy that it gave you that kind of head trip, that kind of out of body experience.
Yeah, it's like it is like a peak in that kind of style that you can use. Hey, you mentioned these people thinking about the movie with Sean, but I forgot which movie you did.
God, I wish my DP was here to answer that question. They were his cameras, I think, and I think they were his personal Canons, or I'm not sure. I just remember we looked into broadcast television cameras, and they were mostly being used for things like glow. Like, they were almost all rented out for shows that were trying to actually use them for that quality. And then we thought about getting something like very high definition and then degrading from there, but we went with a middle range camera that gave us just enough definition that we felt like we had the picture quality, and then we could go from there and sort of down tune it and make sure that we were able to co-opt the vibe of the look, and take it where we needed to take it.
Okay, so how did it be for me with the people with the site? And I love to learn about the night costume.
You're asking about the costumes?
About the sidekicks. Tell me specifically about the savage costumes and stuff.
The costume of the psychic. Yes, I had this idea. That is my friend Cricket, and she's a wonderful, wonderful actress, actually, and quite compelling, and has a really great face. She actually shows up later in the film as the person who does the impression of Sophie. But when I told her I wanted her to play the psychic, I thought, what would be the creepiest and strangest way to present you? And I didn't want to do the generic average psychic thing, which is like, the shitty like turban with the mole, like the Romani gypsy looking thing that I think people do all the time. And I wanted to do my own riff on that. And I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful to cover your entire face with a scarf? It will give this really uncanny quality, and it will feel like very wobbly. And she was totally down. I don't know if she could breathe at all, but she came out with it on, and she had the gloves on, and the gloves had fake nails glued onto them, and the nails were pierced with little jangly jewels, and she just fully went for it. I mean, that's the thing too, is I really try to, when I know I'm going to put an actor in an uncomfortable costume, I try to get them in and out so they can give as crazy and wonderful and amazing a performance as possible. And I'm not overwhelming them or overusing them. And then I get the take and I'm like, okay, take the scarf off so you can breathe. But yeah, she did that like twice. And then I was like, okay, go dunk your head in some water.
So you said it during the Q&A that you needed Sophie von Hasselberg for the Jewel. So I would love to know, what were some of the roles that you saw her in that made her a necessity for the character of Christine St. Clair?
She was in a short film by my friend Nicole. I was shared that short film, kind of just through friends, like mutual friends, and just to watch as an audience member. Really, it was not a casting thing. I didn't request it. Just filmmakers sharing work, and I watched it, and I thought, the whole time, she's so cool and compelling, and she seems so game, and she seems like she has such an interesting sensibility, and I truly love the look of her face. I think she's got an amazing face for camera. And as I was watching it, I was just thinking, I would love to write a part for her. I would love to work with her. And I would really like to give her, more to do. The short is great. It's a sort of post-apocalyptic storyline where she's like one of the last people on Earth or something. And she's really good in it, but she's not, being as funny as I know that she is, and she's not being as wild. And I thought maybe if I could take her there, she would give me something pretty ecstatic. It was a hunch, a good hunch, one that worked out, but I didn't really know that she, had such incredible style and range. But I could sense in that short film, I could just sense that like we would have a great time together, and we would be well suited together, and a great match. So once we started rehearsing, it was almost immediately apparent that, she's just going to be so fantastic.
Cool. So Please was made first, right?
Yes, 2020.
Okay. And is it fair to say that laid the ground a little bit for Give Me Pity? So tell me a little bit sort of how they're different, how they're similar.
Well, I had been trying to make Please Lady Please for a very long time. And that had gone through multiple producers and cast, and just the regular story of how difficult it is to make an independent film. And in the waiting for that process to matriculate into actual production, I started writing Give Me Pity as a small project, a one-off, a monologue movie that I wasn't ever sure I'd be able to shoot. And I wasn't ever sure if it would just come to be. But it's something to keep my mind going and excite me. And, just when you're a writer, all you really want to be doing is writing. So in the process of waiting, I was working on Give Me Pity. And Please Lady Please kind of kept pushing, and we didn't know where we were going to shoot. And with a smaller production and a smaller team, I kind of hustled Give Me Pity forward. And we were supposed to shoot in March. And then the pandemic hit the US, and 1 week before we were supposed to shoot, and so we had to shut down production 1 week before we started, and it was heartbreaking. And I figured that project would be dead and we would never pick it up again. And then the summer got into the fall and I got the green light for Please Baby Please, and suddenly I was shooting that movie and my mind was in a totally different realm and world, and I was very focused on that. And when we wrapped, my producer for Give Me Pity said, I don't want to give up on this. Like, I know we had to shut down. I know that you've already shot another film. I know that it seems like a lost cause, but I think we should all put our energy back into it. And so a little more than a year after it was intended to be made, we went at it again. And I think actually having that bumper, having that push was great for all of us. I made another project and got even more creative and allowed a lot more imagination to unfurl. And when we showed up in July the next year to shoot Give Me Pity, like, everyone was so prepared and Sophie was just locked in, and it was the easiest, most wonderful shoot. So I think it was ultimately a gift that we shut down, but it was heartbreaking at first.
I bet it would. Amanda, thanks a lot for your time. I really appreciated it. Before I let you go, can you just, in like 30 seconds, tell people what's your aesthetic?
Oh my God. I mean, that's too difficult. My aesthetic is just everything I love, My aesthetic is fakeness and surrealness and just an otherworldly quality.
And if people don't want to drop acid, what art should they consume to appreciate your, as you said, prestige art?
Wow. Well, I would not ever tell anyone to drop acid. Everyone should do exactly what's right for themselves. Yeah, I mean, I would say watch a lot of 20th century television and films, and I would say pretty much for the most part, stay away from the 21st century, I guess, if you want to get into my work.